Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand episode of Media Fae. Today, I am alone. Today, I'll be discussing two things this time. We are back in a dual episode. Our last one was me covering the trailers for Godzilla Minus One and the Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which I did put out a video. Well, we did put out the episode from Godzilla Minus One Trailer 3 yesterday. So go check that out if you want to learn more about that. But learn more of my opinions on that. But today is another episode, another dual episode. And today we'll be discussing the trailers for Echo, the Marvel Studio series, and Madam Web, the Sony Spider-Man movie. So, yeah, again, my notes here. Yeah, the reason why I'm covering these two together is because they're both Marvel. That's really the only reason. They're both Marvel, and yeah, so to celebrate episode 250, we're doing more than I guess we did for episode 200, where I'm gonna cover two topics instead of one. They're still trailer episodes, but hey, yeah, we're covering more. So anyways, starting off with the things that were released first, we're going in release order for the movies and whatever the fuck and shows. Echo. The first thing I want to talk about from Echo is the tone and the rating. Now, the tone for this show is going to be much more mature, and a lot more, and I guess darker. Well, as dark as the MCU will get. I will say, this is going to be their first quote-unquote R-rated production. Deadpool will be its second, and then Blade will be its third. So, looks like next year, 2024, will be a pretty violent year for Marvel. Because we have Deadpool 3, Echo, and the Kraven movie, which might not be good at all. I'm pretty sure Venom 3 will probably be PG-13, and this will definitely be PG-13. Madam Web. And those are the only Marvel movies releasing next year. But yeah. Cool stuff. But anyways, now that now that Marvel is expanding on its I guess, Marvel's expanding on its audience. We're gonna see much more of these R-rated productions. Maybe not something that really needed that boost in to become TVMA. So yeah, and I think that Daredevil Born Again will also be TVMA. I'd have to check. Also, if I can rip rip the release date for this fucking thing. Apparently now it's going to be released. There's a filing for the first episode. This is for Daredevil Born Again. Indicates a release in January 2025. And it was supposed to release in early 2024. So, yeah, I think it was spring. So, yeah, but before the whole thing with Marvel. And also, I don't know if it's going to be 18 episodes anymore. So yeah, but Echo will be the first mature TVMA / R-rated production in the MCU. And yeah, I hope they use this to expand more on what they on the characters, and maybe add more, maybe they can have more leniency into what they show in the show. No pun intended. But yeah, it, like, I hope they let it be just completely and utterly, like, they just let it go. So yeah, I mean, I hope they let it rip with what they're planning. So yeah, it looks to me like they're finally, they're not gonna pull the punches anymore. It's going to it's going to be this it's gonna be this violent series. So yeah, I mean, hopefully now that Marvel's not pulling its punches, it's going to it's probably gonna be showing a lot more things that are a lot more mature, and hopefully it doesn't just have this for no reason, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully it uses it. And speaking of that, my second point is the more ground is that there's gonna be a more grounded story. We won't be getting this is gonna be taking a break from the whole, as you call it, you could call it fuck. I guess you could call it like, the main plot from the fucking, why am I blanking on these goddamn things? The main plot from the multiverse saga, that's what's going on in here. And honestly, I think some people might have an issue with that, because we spent so much time not being in the plot of the multiverse saga, because the plot started in 2021's Loki. Honestly, it wasn't continued. It things happened because of it, but it wasn't actually continued until Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which we covered earlier, I think earlier this week or last week. And it just and then we had Loki season 2, which was great, but those are 3 projects moving the thing forward, and now we have the Marvels apparently being a little bit more being important, which, yeah, it seems like I know Marvel's been out for a week, but nobody's fucking watching Marvels. It has an almost 80% drop rate, so might as well just spoil it because no one's fucking watching it. Like, Monica gets trapped in another, in an alternate universe, and the X-Men are there. So yeah, and probably Monica's gonna be pretty important later on. But I don't think we're gonna get like a continuation of these things. Yeah, no. It has a more grounded story, which is I think something that's welcome in this in the in the MCU. Something we don't really see that much. We saw it with Hawkeye. We saw it with Falcon Winter Soldier a little bit. I guess Black Widow. You could say Black Widow. Okay, grounded stories aren't something we see all that often in the MCU, and now we have this, which might be a little bit more grounded, and that's what I was going for with my last point, with it being mature. All of my grounded storylines, Kingpin's here, and he's back from what happened in what happened with, I don't remember. I don't know what I was talking about, honestly. But yeah, yeah, okay, so as a more grounded story, I'm just rehashing points at this point. It's not more grounded story. We're gonna see a lot more. Hopefully, it's not gonna be completely and utterly boring like most things. We're gonna have, I think, much more interesting things happening in the series. Something we don't really get explored all that much in the MCU. Almost no superpowers because there's the Daredevils here. Or like superhuman abilities. But yeah, it's just a good old centered storyline on this character, which actually that's a pretty good segue into my next point, which is the Marvel Spotlight banner. Now, the Echo will be the first series in a line of productions called Marvel Spotlight, which I'm guessing will be like storylines that are in the MCU but are kind of separate, and they're used to introduce characters that, or like expand upon introduce characters that aren't gonna be introduced in the movies. Like, they're not gonna have their own feature thing in the movies, and they want to have like a separate storyline. So I guess you could call it like I guess you could call it something like side stories that happen in the MCU. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing they're doing this. It's a bit weird that now they're introducing this whole thing. Where now there's this whole separate there's this whole separate lineage of Marvel productions which are meant not to be canon. or not to be canon, like not meant like that, but like meant to not be as important to the whole plot. Maybe that means that they're gonna actually make things that are gonna be important from now on, since all they're doing is what they've done now is kind of run them into a corner, because they've been setting up the MCU, the multiverse talk for so long that they were making movies just to make movies, just to have like, oh look, we're making super unconnected movies to make this. But the sagas don't have an end. These things don't have an end. The phases don't have an end. I mean, phase 4 ended with the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Like, brother, how does that happen? How do you do that? Genuinely, how do you manage that? And the thing I wonder is like, for Marvel Spotlight, like, they're probably not gonna recategorize a bunch of these things, but like, I guess Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, all of those things will count as would count as Spotlight, as like Marvel Spotlight, like. And I hope they do more things for Werewolf by Night. I hope it's not just a one-off thing. I really hope the Werewolf by Night stuff isn't just a one-off thing that they're not gonna do anything with. I really want to see Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing and all those characters again, because they're fun. Werewolf by Night was fun, so yeah. I hope they're not gonna be used for like nothing, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, I hope that they do a lot more things with the Marvel Spotlight banner. It seems like an interesting thing, and I'm glad that Echo's gonna be setting it off, because Echo looks really good. But yeah. And moving on to speculation. What? So yeah, my question is, how does this continue from Hawkeye? I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm just asking questions to put them here. At the end of Hawkeye, Maya Lopez, Echo, went away. She escaped, quote unquote, I guess. And we're going to we're gonna see where she went, what she's doing. Obviously, Kingpin's back. But we don't really know much aside from that. Like, how does this continue? What happened in Hawkeye? I mean, this whole series is what happened after Hawkeye. Yeah, this is kind of like a first for Marvel, making a sequel series, technically, quote unquote, sequel series. But yeah, I'm ready to see how this continues from Hawkeye. What we see. I don't know if they'll mention what happens in Hawkeye, but yeah, just interested to see how this continues on from there. Next up, how does Daredevil fit into this? We saw Daredevil a little bit in the trailer. He's not in it for long, which implies to me like he's probably going to be in it for 1 or 2 episodes. Maybe he's going to be in it for a lot. I don't know. How does he fit into it? I mean, pretty obvious question. Kingpin's back or something, but maybe it's not just Kingpin, right? Maybe I don't think the villain will only be Kingpin. Maybe Kingpin will be a threat, you know, an antagonist or something. But I'm not convinced he's gonna be our main foe. At least not right now. Definitely, I don't know. So I want to see how Daredevil fits into this. I know he's probably glad that Fist came back, but I don't know. I really don't know. Next up, what is this series about? We don't know its true plot. I'm guessing they want to keep their cards close to their chest because this whole series is simultaneously releasing. But yeah, just I don't know. We don't know what's really about. The series is pretty short and misty. I don't know if they're gonna keep it close to chest because it's all releasing at once on January 10th. So yeah, I don't know if that's what they're doing. And final point for speculation: is Kingpin really the main antagonist? I'm not convinced he's gonna be the main antagonist actually, because that's too obvious and maybe just a little too. To like generic and maybe not something that should happen. At the end of Hawkeye, we saw the fact that Maya did go against Kingpin, and I think that's kind of how it ended. But I don't know if they're gonna rehash that. I hope they don't rehash that. I hope Kingpin stays much more in the. I hope Kingpin is much more of a lesser of a threat here, and we get like a new threat that we get to worry about here. Yeah, and my fifth and final point is it's coming out on Hulu. Yeah, it's coming out on Hulu until I think April 28th. It's gonna be on Hulu, all the series because it's releasing all at once. So my question is, will this continue for TVMA series? Will the next TVMA series also come out on Hulu? Like, I mean, our next TVMA series would be Marvel Zombies, which I just found out is coming out in 2024. So, will it also come out on Hulu? Or is this just a thing for Marvel Spotlight, which gets me into something else? Maybe if this is not going to be for TVMA or whatever, or maybe if this is going to be for TVMA and not for Marvel Spotlight, are they marketing for more views? Do they know that they're not going to have that much of an audience on Disney Plus for TVMA productions? Do they know that Hulu would provide a much more safer alternative if it doesn't do well on Disney Plus? Like, I don't know. Just, it's interesting that they're putting it on Hulu. I'm willing to give it a chance to see if it does anything. I don't say why it does. I'm interested to see if they ever do something with this ever again. Like, if other series will also come out on Hulu. I know that Secret Invasion, the first 3 episodes came out on Hulu for a while because it wasn't getting all the views that people that they wanted it to get. So then they had to get it. They put it on Hulu for a while. But yeah, I don't know. Just to me, it seems like a bit of a weird approach. Maybe it's because they know it's not gonna get as many views on. It's not gonna get as many views on Disney Plus. So they're switching over to Hulu to better facilitate, I guess. I don't know. Just interesting marketing ploy here. You get all of them through Disney Plus bundle, so the Disney bundle. So honestly, good on them, I guess. So yeah, just honestly, I mean, cool it's coming out. A bit weird it's gonna be a limited time only. I'm guessing they want it to be on. They want it to be a something that's only Hulu related. Like, again, they want it to be Disney Plus. That's what I mean. Like, they don't want to keep this on Hulu. But yeah, just weird things. Anyways, now that we're done with Echo, we're gonna move on to where is it? There we go, Madam Web. Madam Web. Oh boy. Okay. So, my first talking point for Madam Web is, why make a Madam Web movie? This character I know about this character, and Madam Web is interesting because Madam Web isn't what you'd call a character that has all that much material to work on, I guess. It's not a character you see get used a lot, and if you wanted to really find something, you have to look deep, and you have to take creative liberties for, kind of like what they did, not kind of like they did with Morbius. I guess kind of like they did with Morbius. They took a lot of creative liberties with Morbius, and now Morbius is a meme. So, yeah, I mean, why make a Madam Web movie? Why do this? Like, at least, okay, Morbius I could never see coming. Like, Craven I actually could see. El Muerto? Who in their right mind is making an El Muerto movie? That guy has 2 comics. They're gonna invent something completely fucking new. And then they're making a movie with Donald Glover as the Hypno Hustler. Like, who the fuck is the Hypno Hustler? Also, incredibly saddened to hear that the movie from Del Muerto is not coming out on my birthday. I really want to see that movie. But guess what? It's not coming out on my birthday because the strike happened, and fucking Bad Bunny is a cunt. He is not gonna be the movie anymore. Bad Bunny will not be in El Muerto, which was his main selling point. Which is the main selling point of the movie. You're gonna have Bad Bunny. I'm guessing they got another like a Latin American or like Latino actor to play him, but I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do here. So honestly, doesn't interest me. Also, and I didn't mention that it's about Echo, but I'm really excited to see what happens with Echo. But it doesn't. But just weird decisions here from Marvel having this on Hulu as well, for a limited time. But aside from that, I'm pretty excited to see what they do with Echo. But anyways, Madam Web. So yeah, just a really weird decision to have this movie even made. It's just, it kind of baffles me a little that this movie is a thing that's happening. But yeah, just weird stuff. Next up is uninterested me talking about how there's fucking uninterested actors. Like me watching this movie, these people are not interested in this movie. Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson have the most laughable line deliveries in this entire trailer. That is, it's something that it's something that is weird. How do you hire people and then they're not gonna be interested in ever doing this? Like, how is this a thing? Okay, stop doing that. But yeah, also, I just looked at this. Poor Isabella Merced. She's playing Ana Corazón Sasha Araña, and she was Isabella. It was in fucking Transformers the Last Night. I feel so bad for this person. I guess she was Dora, the Lost City of Gold, which did fine. And it's an 85%, so she at least has one W. I guess that's like one of the only things you can really say. So she was how old? Making fucking Last Night? How long was it Last Night? 6 years ago was Last Night? Motherfucker! I'm too old. She was 11. She was not 11. She was 15 when making Last Night. Really? Goddamn. Oh shit. But yeah, no, I feel bad for this person. I feel bad for freaking Isabella Merced. She's in complete shit. She has to get a better fucking agent. She has to. Fire her fucking agent, dude. But yeah, no. But Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson are not interested to be here. Like, at all. Dakota Johnson made this interview. I think we're going to cover it in Media Consumers. But she had this interview where I think she almost said that Madam Web, she always loved Madam Web, but she had to say she always loved Marvel because nobody would fucking buy that she always loved Madam Web. There was no way. And I have to fucking agree with you on people on that. Nobody would buy that she was a fan of Madam Web before the movie came out. And even then, I don't think she's a fan of the character right now. So yeah. But there you have such weird, bad fucking line delivery. It's awful. It is bad. Like bad. It's laughably bad. So yeah, weird. Speaking of weird villain, Ezekiel Sims, Spider-Man, which, I mean, I've heard that Ezekiel Sims has something to do with kind of Spider-Verse, I guess. And he's gonna be somewhat important, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird villain choice. People say he's gonna be a red herring, but considering the writing of these movies, I don't think they're that smart. Or maybe they think they are that smart, but they just aren't. I really don't think they're smart enough to like make that a thing. Maybe they think of themselves as smart enough to really encapsulate the astoundment that we're gonna have when we see when we see Sequel Sims is not the villain of the story, and it's what the spider hunters or something. I don't know, but like, I don't care about Ezekiel Sims Spider-Man. I don't care if he's gonna be important or not. Like, this movie has made me no interest, like, at all. What if he's Spider-Man? What the fuck? Like, I don't care about this goddamn guy. He looks, I don't know, there's nothing interesting about him. I'm not interested to see, ooh, what's up with this. If they didn't do the reveal that he was Ezekiel Sims, I don't think I would have this absolute just nothingness in my head about who the fuck this guy is, or why I should care, because they didn't do. It's not gonna be a twist or anything. Ezekiel Sims is gonna be Spider-Man. I'm guessing it's gonna be a red herring, because they literally put it in the trailer. This guy was the Spider-Man guy. He's evil Spider-Man. Ooh. But yeah, I don't know. Just weird villain choice in general. Not a really interesting villain choice, regardless. Yeah. Moving on, talking about what the fuck they're gonna do. What the fuck is the plot of this goddamn movie? Like, what is this gonna be about? I know I had this problem with not this thing with Echo, but I could at least visualize. I could guess what's gonna happen in Echo, but I can't guess what the fuck happens in here because it doesn't give me anything. I don't know how they're gonna leave it for fucking the movie to find how the Spider-Woman get their powers. Dakota Johnson, Madam Web is so goddamn interesting. She can see the future, but then there's Ezekiel Sims coming to get the Spider-Woman, and now they're going to, and now they need to run from Ezekiel Sims. It's not gonna be the whole movie running away from Ezekiel Sims. That sounds uninteresting. Finding out weird stuff. Just how do you do this? How does this happen? How do you write something like this? That's my concern, that somebody can write something like this. Which brings me to my next point. What the fuck is up with the exposition in this goddamn movie? There is so much exposition in this trailer. Maybe it's for the trailer. Maybe this is just for the trailer and it won't be in the movie, but holy fuck, is it everywhere in this trailer. There's the exposition about this stupid ass line where Dakota Johnson, Madam Web, fucking says, that's Ezekiel. That's his, like, in the most fucking tone deaf voice you could ever think of. That's Ezekiel Sims. He was with my mother when she was in the Amazon. He was in the Amazon with my mother when she was researching spiders before she died. That's so much information in one fucking sentence, and then in the same scene, I'm guessing they're having a conversation in the Spider-Woman, like, hey, I recognize you. You're the paramedic. You ran me over. I didn't remember what the like that other person did. Like, it's so wild how much exposition this movie the movie has. Does it think we're dumb? Does it think that we? I don't know. And even with all this exposition, we don't know what the fuck is going on with the story, because they don't bother explaining it. They only bother explaining the characters. So it's just confusing overall. Like, what the fuck is this supposed to be doing? Like, what am I looking at here? Fuck, man. What is this supposed to be about? I don't get it. And finally, time travel shenanigans. Yippee! It has time travel things which are gonna be important to the plot, but honestly, that's not. But I don't think that's what Madam Web is really about. Having visions of the future, time traveling, or I don't know. I don't think that's what the character's about. But it will have that, and maybe it just. I don't think there's anything interesting with that. It just doesn't. This movie just doesn't look good. It looks. People don't care. People didn't care about making it, so I'm not gonna care about making it. Also, you can make the argument that nobody wanted an Echo series, but Echo at least has connections. Like, nobody would have thought of making an Echo series, but Echo at least has a role, an arc, connections to characters. I mean, Madam Web does have connections to Spider-Man, but that's it. That's where it ends. Doesn't have much more than that. She's not. I don't think she's much more of her own character than Echo. But yeah, time travel shenanigans. I don't know what they're gonna do with these things, but yeah, and also, will this tie into Beyond the Spider-Verse? I don't think so. I honestly do not think that it will tie into the Beyond the Spider-Verse at all. I think they're setting up nonsense. I think this movie is just to be made. Honestly, if this does set up something in Spider-Verse, I will be so fucking surprised. I will be so surprised if this movie is anywhere near important. Genuinely. That is my only thing. If this movie is important to Spider-Verse, I'll be so surprised. I'm rewatching Eternals. That's not really big of a judgment, but yeah. This movie, this movie. There's no way this movie is important. I'm being serious with you. There's no way this movie is important at all. But yeah, that's my real opinion. I don't care about this movie. People didn't care about making it, so why should I care about seeing it? I'm still gonna see it because I'm covering it here. But yeah, just weird stuff. Doesn't look good, and yeah. So, what did you guys think about the Echo and Madam Web trailers? Leave it in the comments below. You can follow us on @MediaBuffet, @Media_Buffet on Twitter, @The Entertainment with the E at the end, also on Twitter, @The Entertainment on YouTube, MediaBuffet on Spotify, and @MediaBuffetYT/MediaBuffet bonus on YouTube as well. For me, it's @Mercury SCheese on Twitter, Mercury SC on YouTube, and Mercury C Cheese on Twitch. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.